Hi everyone, welcome to Christmas at the Schwowin's Nest. I'd like to thank xTool for sending me some supplies so I can show you how to make these gorgeous wood rustic projects. I'm going to start off by gluing this 1/2 inch wood dowel to a piece of wood. At first, I thought I was just going to use the piece of wood for stability, just so I could work with the dowel. But then, once everything was finished, I just thought it looked really neat because it was rustic and broken, and I just thought it was cool. I'm going to use hot glue and attach each of these wooden tree pieces to the dowel, and it's going to create a beautiful 3D tree with these scalloped edges as the branches. I think it's just going to be gorgeous. All I did was cut out a tree shape, but before I cut the whole thing, I used what's called a vector. And that gives me the ability to just add some cut lines into my design. So I was able to just take a line, put it right down the center of the tree, and that basically cut it in half. This is the xTool Creative Space software that comes with your machine. It's really a simple program to use. And if you're familiar with Cricut Design Space or any other cutting machine program, this is going to be very similar to it. They're going to use the same type of words. So as you can see here, what I did was take the line, it's called a vector, and I'm going to do it here for you again because I didn't get it right the first time. So you just simply click and drag it down, and then when you've got it in the right spot, you click again, and that creates a cut line. What you see here, the black space, is actually the inside of the machine. So the M1 takes a picture of the material that you're going to be using, and it allows you to take measurements and make sure that you have the right material. So what I'm doing here is I've grouped these together. So the tree and the line is grouped together, and I've duplicated it, made it smaller because I want it to fit in here. I am very frugal when it comes to the basswood that I use because it's not cheap. But again, thank you to xTool for sending me a big pack of it. And what I'm going to do now is just make sure that everything is set in the right area and make sure that it's within the parameters of where it's going to cut. Once I've got everything set the way I want, I'm going to take a look at the preview and then click the start button and then go to my machine and hit the start button on there as well. And then it's going to give me my little timer here that's going to show me how long it's going to take to process. This is the xTool M1 machine, and I can use this in my craft room because it has a really big hose to vent out the window. But this is how I did the cutting. You can see it's just a Christmas tree shape. And then by adding that vector line, I was able to get a cut right down the center. I used 8 pairs of trees, or I should say 8 trees cut in half. And this wood is 3 millimeter basswood. And thank you to xTool for sending me a big bunch of this so I can show you how to use things and make beautiful projects with that machine. So before we go any further, let me tell you a little bit about xTool. xTool is having their Black Friday sale from November 15th till November 24th. You can get up to 60% off, and it's their biggest sale of 2023. It even includes machines. If you buy more, you save more. So here are some of the coupon codes that are available to you on the website. I'll have all the links of everything that you need down in my description box. The F1 machine is xTool's newest little model, and look at how cute it is. It's tiny, it's portable. You can take it with you to craft shows or fairs, anywhere where you want to sell your items and create custom products for your customers. They also have some budget friendly choices. So if you're not able to spend a whole lot on a laser engraver and cutting tool, you can definitely try the xTool D1 Pro or the xTool M1. The M1 is what I have, and I think it's a fantastic machine. I have not had any problems with it. I've had it for over a year, and you can get it with all sorts of accessories. And the one thing I really love about it is that it also cuts vinyl. So it's the first machine that has the ability to cut, engrave, score wood and different products, and also cut vinyl. So if you're looking for a machine that can do everything, the M1 is it. And now's your chance to get it for a screaming good deal. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. Once I was done adding all of the half Christmas trees, I took it out to my garage and I gave it a couple of coats of this chalk paint called putty. Originally, I thought I was going to paint it white. Then I didn't like the white. Then I thought I would paint it black, but I thought black is a little too dark for Christmas. So I decided to grab this paint, and I think it was the right choice. Very simple, but beautiful. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'd love it if you could hit that subscribe button and stick around a while. For those of you who are coming back to my channel, thank you so much. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. For my next project, I had this wooden box and it could be used as a riser, it could be used as a frame, it could be used as a little tray. I'm going to use it as a frame. So what I did was cut out a reverse image. So I cut out a piece of wood that was going to fit right inside the frame. And then I cut out the Christmas tree. And of course, I still have the Christmas tree. I can use that on a different project, but I'm going to just use the frame of it this time. I'm using a glue stick and I cut out a piece of scrapbook paper that's sort of a dark, muted green, and it has some Christmas trees on it. I thought it would be the perfect addition to this piece. I'm going to simply glue the paper right onto the back of the Christmas tree frame, and then I'll glue that right inside the wood box frame. Since the box already had white painted on the sides and the top or the bottom, I decided to just use my white chalk paint and paint the rest of it white as well, but not the wood piece down at the bottom. I wanted that to stay natural. And instead of trying to not hit that with my paintbrush, I decided to be smart this time and grab some painter's tape and line the inside of the box so I wouldn't get any paint on my natural piece of wood. Then, once the paint was dry, I added a simple little buffalo check bow and a rusty jingle bell, and this is how it turned out. For my next project, I wanted to do some engraving on a piece of wood to create a sign. So they have this text function here. And what I'm going to be doing is just typing in what I want my sign to say. I can change the font style and size. I can bold it. And then I'm going to decide if I want to score it, engrave it, or cut it. And for this project, I'm going to use the engrave function. The Creative Space program comes with a few of their own built in fonts, but when you scroll down, you can just get into your system fonts, and that means anything that is installed into your computer will show up here, even ones that you have downloaded. I'm not going to take you through everything. All I'm going to do here is resize it, and I clicked on the engrave function. And what that's going to do is just literally tell the machine that I want these letters engraved so they show up really nice and bright on my board. Let's take a look at how it turned out. Here's how the engraving on my piece of wood turned out, and I just love it. I think it's so pretty because you can see all the different types of wood grain that it brought out, and I just love the rustic natural look of it. This piece of wood had some stain drips because on the other side it is actually a really dark orangey stain. So I needed to get some of these pieces off. So I'm just using my rotary tool here, and it's really easy to be able to just use the sanding disc and then just get all of those off. The other thing I'm going to do is go around the edges of the board. I'm going to round out some of the corners because one of them was already broken and rounded anyway, and then that will just make it look a little bit more cohesive. I wasn't sure what I was going to do to the outside of this, but I did know that I wanted some type of frame. So I'm taking some painter's tape and I'm going to leave about a half an inch at the bottom and the top. I'll paint those edges and then I'll take the painter's tape off, let it dry, and do the same thing for the sides. At first, I thought I was going to do it white, and then I thought about maybe just doing a stain, but I wasn't sure if it was going to be the same color as the engraving. And then I thought, no, I should probably do something that's going to make this whole thing pop. So I decided with black, and it is gorgeous. It turned out better than I expected. For this last project, I used a cutting board and the scoring tool on my xTool M1 machine, and I carved out this Baking Spirit Bright. Now, this is a really fun way to be able to create somewhat of a coloring book on your cutting board. And that's exactly what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to take some markers and I'm going to color it in. I'm going to add some red and green and my gingerbread guy, and then I've got my rolling pin down at the bottom. And then at the end, I'm going to add a couple of little red and white ribbons at the top of it. Again, just simple and rustic, and this one is super fun. I hope you enjoyed my simple and rustic Christmas projects today. Don't forget to go down to my description box and click on the links to all of the xTool products. You're sure to find something that will work for your crafting pleasure. If you have any questions, feel free to send them in the comments and I'll get back to you right away. See you in the next one.